It looked like I'm about to be able to get us on YouTube. Hold on, let me see
it
if
says
this will
live
work.
on YouTube. Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like Derek Jackson.
Copy stream. You could copy the link, Dame, and then just post it to Facebook.
Okay, that's what I do.
They can comment on YouTube.
What was the problem on Facebook? It's crazy.
I think Facebook tripping because it went to YouTube. Pretty simple. All right, we on. Oh, there we go. We are live on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen. All right, now let me paste it to Facebook. Get everything going. Ladies and gentlemen, we tried to go live on Facebook with Facebook being a hole. So we had to do something different and go live on YouTube right now. So if you want to, you can still interact with us. You just have to go over and do it on YouTube. Uncouth Radio. Stimulus, is it for us? Uncouth Radio, we're in the house, and the house is social distancing right now.
It's not packed.
It's packed virtually.
It's virtually packed. And yeah, let's get the show started. What you want to open up with? Well, let's give people a second to log on. While we giving people a second to log on, Chan, tell us what you've been up to.
I've been social distancing myself. I cooked some ribs today. I've been cooking a lot of stuff.
Okay. So speaking of ribs, I found a new way to cook ribs. I did like this slow cook, and it was like, I want to say it was like I cooked them for like 4 hours. My God.
In the slow cooker?
No, in the oven.
In the oven at what temperature?
225.
Okay, because I did mine for 200 for 2 hours. They were baby back ribs.
Oh, no, that sounds
Those were regular wigs.
Mine was regular, yeah.
Okay, they were bigger. But yeah, they were baby back ribs. And I mean, I thought they came out pretty good. I had never cooked ribs before. I was like, hey, why not try it? You know, I don't have nothing else to do but time. So I've been cooking a lot, hanging out with my sister some. Obviously, Quince, we're social distancing partially. Actually, we're social distancing right now. So social distancing, literally. Nothing major. I mean, I'm just one of those people that's, I know people are stuck in between being panicked about, you know, not being able to provide and do stuff, and people are like, hey, I'm glad I'm home, or I want to get back to work. It's a weird time for everybody.
So weird.
We just don't know what we want. Like you say, if I think we just wanted to be able to get our checks, work when we want to, and do what we want. And we can't do any of that right now. So it's just odd that people are just controlling every aspect of our life. Honestly, like last week I didn't talk about it, but the week before, when I was on the week before, I was like, they're doing too much. You know, this is a lot. They're shutting down schools. It's just a lot. But I think that stemmed from like how it was like, it was made to be like whatever. Like, you know, we have watched the videos of Trump saying, oh, there's only one case. And then a month later, like, oh, you know, them saying it's a hoax, and just nobody was mentally prepared for this at all. I think had he even talked about it when China told the World Health Organization about it, you know, we would have at least been mentally prepared for it. Because I think mental preparation is a big part of what we're going through right now.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? We're not prepared. I with my sister. My sister has a 6-year-old, and 2 3-year-olds, and so she's trying to keep them like entertained and keep them learning. And you know, they have emotions and things that they can't express. So they, you know, kids are gonna act differently. We feel a certain type of way. It's just, you know, all my sisters are teachers, so they're all going through it as far as trying to get lessons for their kids and help their parents. And it's just a lot that everybody's been going through lately. So I'm fortunate, like I was telling you earlier, I'm a substitute, so I don't get paid. I'm one of the ones that hopes the whole unemployment thing really works. because I don't get paid. Like they basically canceled our jobs and was like, good luck applying for unemployment. So to date, that day I applied, they said 60,000 people in California applied for unemployment. To date, that they have calculated, 3 million people have applied for unemployment in California.
Jesus.
California's unemployment goes, you can get from $40 a week to $450 a week. $450 is the max you can get. You could be a pilot. Right. You could be the manager of janitors, whatever. If that's how, if you're on the higher end, because they go by like how much you make quarterly, the average of what you make quarterly, just for those people who don't know. So then a part of the stimulus package, they're saying, oh, so since my pay is like all over the place, I have no idea. I could be getting $40 a week. I don't know. So my attitude about it is like, I know I'm not going to be homeless. I know I'm not going to be hungry. There are so many people who have kids and families and stuff that they really have to worry about. So I know I'll be okay. You guys know I drive for Lyft. I do Postmates. Everything is like slowing down. Everything is slowing down. Yeah. So it's just like whatever I could get, whatever I get. But I'm gonna tell you guys this. The other day, before I stopped doing Postmates, because then I decided, hey, it doesn't make sense. I'm gonna be coming in contact with people. I know they're telling people to do it, but it's like, I'm going to be coming in contact with people. So like last week, my last day I did Postmates, I was sitting out for it was lunchtime, and in Santa Monica, they always are ordering good tips, all that stuff. I sat for 2 hours, no calls, 2 hours. Wow. Finally was like, I'm done, I'm over it. And I thought I had turned off my app, but I headed back home. I got a call. It ended up being to go to Best Buy, because people weren't ordering food. They're ordering stuff like towels and stuff. So this particular thing was wrong. You probably know what this is, but it was like something to enhance their cell phone connection inside their house. It was like in the Palisades.
Right, as a repeater.
What is it called?
A repeater device.
Right. So it was it was something like that, but it was like $400. So I text the guy like, oh, I don't know if this is what you want, because he's like, no, I want that now. So I brought it to him. I got $9 for the delivery. So this is 2.5 hours between the delivery, me texting them, waiting, all that stuff. $9. I was over it. Done.
No tip.
I'm gonna go home. You know what? I'm gonna deal with life however I'm gonna deal with life. Next day I woke up. This guy had tipped me $95.
Wow.
Oh wow.
He had tipped me $95. I was like, oh my God. Like, it was pretty insane. So little stuff like that has given me hope here and there. I've seen, we could talk, if you want to talk about the stimulus package, because I've kind of merged into the unemployment thing.
I'm glad that you brought that up though, because you talking about being a substitute teacher, being somebody who does Lyft, and being somebody who does, all of those different things. You kind of touch on some of the biggest places and spaces that people are working right now that's being affected. So yeah. I'm glad you're able to speak to that, because you have your regular gig and your side hustles. You get to speak to like how it's really affecting the people, because that's your story. But imagine if somebody is only a substitute teacher. Imagine if somebody only does Lyft. If they only do, you know what I mean? Like, so
that's the case. Like, I'm a substitute teacher, and because I get paid once a month, so to supplement or get gas or whatever, I do Lyft and Postmates. Like, that's what I do. So I don't do, you know what I mean? I have a steady position at the school I'm at, but that didn't count. They were like, oh no, we're done. Apply for unemployment, good luck. So some people are saying, they're arguing about the bill because they're saying that they want to increase benefits for 4 months by $600 a week, depending on the state. So like I said, some states have a higher average than we do. Like I said, you can give between 40 and 400.
Did she go on mute?
Yeah, sorry.
You were mute, yeah, okay.
I went on mute?
Yeah, but it was my fault. It was my fault. Go ahead.
So some people are saying, oh, that's going to encourage people not to work. That's going to encourage people to go into unemployment. I think what people don't understand, people in my situation, I mean, maybe some people might, but I think and I have a couple of friends who are substitutes and, are really concerned about this. They're just concerned about being able to get paid and do their regular things. Nobody is trying to say, oh, I'm going to go on unemployment for the rest of my life. I mean, school's about to be over,
ball
actually.
Out. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we're not going to ball out on $1,000. So stop it. So school's about to be over, honestly. So a lot of times substitute teachers do go on unemployment in the summer. I don't. I always have lifted and Ubered and done all that stuff during the summer. I didn't even know you could, but even if I could, I have another way to make income. So I'm not going to go on unemployment. But anyway, you know, that was one of the main things that they put in, also to allow gig economy drivers, which is like Postmates, Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash, those who only have those incomes, to allow them to be able to apply for unemployment. That was another part of the stimulus bill. So people who only do that, somehow they're going to figure it out. How they're
okay, so yeah, let's dive into the stimulus bill a little bit.
Yeah.
Explain what you know a little bit for the people, because I know there's a lot of very bad misinformation and misconceptions going on out there about what the stimulus check is going to do, what the stimulus bill will do. Like you said, people don't know that no matter how much you make, the most you're going to get for unemployment is $450 a week.
Exactly.
So even if the relief that you think that's going to be is probably not, if your overhead is still your same regular overhead. So
if you're saying, because honestly, the max, which a lot of, the average worker doesn't get, that means you're going to be making $1,800 a month. And for some of us in California, that's not even rent.
Right.
So, okay. So basically, they have a certain amount of bailouts for businesses, small businesses that they say they consider between 500 and 10,000 workers. That's a small business. They have a portion of it is grants, portion of it is loans. Some of it and you're only qualifying for it is you qualify for it as a grant if you don't furlough or lay off anybody until September. So September is when they're looking at everything, kind of getting everything back up. As far as what they're giving people, they're basing it on your tax return from this year. If you didn't apply already for taxes or didn't file your taxes, they're basing it on for next year. The most you can get is $1,200 if you make under. I don't remember how much it was. I think it was like 75,000.
70,000.
70,000. That's the most. And then if you have kids under 17, you get $500 per child. If it's a couple, it's actually doubled as far as how much you can make and how much you get back. They're looking at that as like direct payments. People are saying that they're saying it's a loan. I think that was one of the things that they were trying to do, but they're like, hey, what's the point? You're getting people in more debt. Some of the businesses that they want to bail out are the airline industry. They put the airline industry and their contractors, like people who clean airplanes, basically people who are directly affected by this, transportation and stuff like that. One of the main things that the Democrats fought for was oversight over the money. So there's some type of oversight. Some people say it's strict. Some people say it's not. I guess it depends on what you define as strict. One of the main things that the Democrats fought for as well was making sure that no business that any senator or federally elected official has any type of stake in can get a bailout. So Trump's stuff don't fly. Your businesses can't get a bailout.
And I know he was trying. To slide in that.
He was trying, because the problem in the beginning with him wanting to dial back the social distancing was because he was losing money, because his stuff is in New York. The most of his buildings and hotels and all that stuff is in New York. So he's like, man, I'm losing money. What can we do? Can we stop the social distancing? What's going on? So that's one of his main things. Mnuchin is saying
quarantine hotels.
Yeah, well,
I
want him to go to New York. Actually, maybe he should visit.
Right.
But anyway, my new president is President Cuomo, by the way, governor of New York, also president of the United States. In my mind, I watch.
He's been showing some real leadership.
Every day he gets on and he does, because he's very straightforward. He says what's going on, what's good, what's bad, what we need to do for help, and he doesn't mince words. He's like, this is what's happening.
And I got to give it up for Eric Garcetti as well, because I wasn't a big fan of his, but he's been doing a good job leading.
Same. He told the 90 Central businesses, hey, look, in LA, if you in here, you still in, we turn off your lights and your water and your power. Guess what? Right. You're not gonna be able to work. So some of y'all who say they're telling y'all have 90 Central, y'all have essential businesses, and they're not. If you're in the city of LA, Mayor Garcetti is like, they're getting the license stuff turned off. You're gonna find out how essential and not essential you are.
And I don't know if people realize social distancing is actually working here in California really well, because we already spread it out. I think we dropped the number 4 as far as cases and death.
Oh wow!
And I think we were number 2.
Yeah, and we have the most people as far as in our state.
Right.
In our state. So I think we were number 2. New Jersey then popped up, and I think Louisiana then surpasses.
Well,
so,
that big thing came from that guy having that $1,000 member people coming to church. He was like,
well, yeah. So it's working, because for us to have 40 million people in the state, and right now I think we're like at 1,200 cases versus 52 deaths, compared to New York, who is the number 1 market, and we're number 2. New York is like at 250 some deaths.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's really bad. And then by New Jersey being right next door, it's starting to affect them as well. So, if people could just stick with it and be patient, and that's one thing this country has, this how we work and how we move. We never have to be forced to just sit there and just be patient. So folks just have to continue to stay home and until this thing boils over, because I actually think it at this pace, I think we might be okay by May. But if the mayor got to cut off your water and power and shit for you to stay home, it's going to continue to be problems.
Yeah. And I mean, again, the another thing I've been doing is researching just pretty much everything, because guess who has nothing but time. And because the virus is so new, they're basically treating it like the other coronaviruses that they know. So it's in a family of coronaviruses. It's in a family of already known coronaviruses. Because some people are like, oh, the government released this and blah, blah, blah. It's on the back of my Lysol. Like, that's a coronavirus. But anyway.
Well, it was patented back in 2006. And so this is why they had all that information.
Well, because it was in a family of viruses, but this is
correct.
This is added something else.
A different strain of it.
And this one is when you guys hear people talk about the whole bat situation, because this is a strand that's found that's most close. And they're talking about this looking under a microscope, because the reason that they call it corona is because it has proteins on the top of it that looks like a crown. And the word crown in Spanish is corona. So it's called corona, which is what it looks like, the name. And then so COVID is for corona, VI is for virus, and the D is for disease, and 19 is when they came up with it. Okay, so that's just a little useless piece of information, but it's also in that SARS family. So basically, saying all that to say, they're treating it like the viruses that they already know. That's why there's always new things that's coming out. Oh, this might be a loss of smell, might be a symptom, blah blah blah, because they're just finding stuff out.
Yeah, but the biggest difference with this is that we have nothing for it. There's no vaccine.
There's nothing yet. Test. Everything is still
because it's actually new. Like, I don't think a lot of people realize Ebola been around for like years. There's certain Ebola been around for like years, and other viruses have been around years. So there's already some type of vaccines or medication to combat those. Whereas this is so new, there's nothing for it. That's why when Dum Dum first heard about it, he should have already been. He should have already been in the works of trying to get tests and trying to get stuff moving, because the doctor actually said today that this might be a seasonal thing. Right. Because what they're starting to see as Africa goes into their winter, they're starting to see that the disease is starting to come around. So possibly if it comes around next winter, we should be prepared with vaccines and he said like a
just more information,
a menu of medications that
y'all heard about the doctor at UC Irvine, right? He had already been testing it on animals, so he's using a vaccine that they were using for SARS, and I think what was the one before it? It was SARS and something else, but
swine flu probably.
I believe so.
And I think it was Mars. I think it was M. I think it was Ron.
Yeah, and then they're testing it on animals, and it's actually working. So their next thing
good.
is to get some people to use it and see how it works on us. So hopefully that does take effect.
Well, another thing that we also have to remember when we're monitoring the cases is that some people who got tested, their tests are taking some time. So we got people that tests are taking some time, and then we have different type of tests that are, doing more turnaround, and they're experimenting with a home test and all these things. Like Quincy said, that like when China first told him about it, he should have been more on it. We wouldn't have had to go through all this.
Yeah.
You
mean the Kung Flu?
The Kung Flu, as he says, he's so ridiculous. He's starting to just back down on so many things because I don't know, like even though they're saying like his approval rating is good and different things like that, I think if you want to talk about a hoax, I think that's a hoax because you turn on the TV because one of the reasons they said that they think his approval rating might be high because people rally around the president during like times of crisis.
Yeah, well, no matter how terrible they are.
No matter how terrible they are, but you see, he's terrible. Like we turn on the news and it's like good morning, coronavirus. Like this is just it's purely about, and you see every day how much he's jacking himself up. You know what I mean? How much he's jacking the country up. He's awful. He attacks reporters. Every single virus, every single conference. I watch Governor Cuomo more now than I watch him.
Yeah, everyone does. He's a lot more facts for real. He's a lot more informative.
He's straightforward and honest.
And also, I wanted to talk about the testing as well too, because I think people have a misconception about the amount of cases being announced versus the amount of cases people actually have. And what I mean by that is, because people like all these cases are coming all of a sudden. I'm like, well, what's happening is because more people are getting tested, you're finding out more people have it.
Exactly.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's not.
And you're getting more results back. Like people, results are coming back in the 5 days in the waiting. But the problem is because people are not waiting. Like, okay, say I have had a test. Like, okay, guys, I had a test and I went and did the show. Then 5 days later, it comes back like, oh, you have coronavirus. I've exposed all of y'all to the thing, so now 3 of y'all got it.
Well, and that's so another thing because they're trying to find out why South Korea, they're getting their test results less than 24 hours back.
Well, they said there'll be a 24-hour test in the next couple of days. We're gonna have a 24-hour test. Slim Thug, the rapper in Texas who got it, he got his test back in 2 days. So he said they're getting better tests now. I don't know what happened that changed it because at first they said it was taking 2 and 3 weeks to get the results back.
Yeah. So and
probably just a backlog.
But they said South Korea began they test back like the same day.
Wow.
So that's why they've been able to really control
the problem. The problem is we're behind because of the idiot. Like
basically
all that stuff we could all because if the World Health Organization informed them like we know they did, and then you fire the department that's specifically supposed to look into stuff like this specifically in that area, then this is where we're at.
Yeah, he fired a guy that actually works in China to watch over diseases. Like that was specifically
that's specifically what
his job.
So when you say China didn't tell us, well, you fired the guy who would have told us.
Right.
So come on.
Yeah, but his own person at a press conference over the weekend said that they knew as of January 3rd.
Wow.
So, well, to be honest, whoever, I mean, I know we do a lot of talk about the whole political stuff because there's a lot going on, but to be honest, like we've been talking about Joe Biden and different people, he definitely needs to harp on this. Like, you ruined the country and you didn't have to. And let me lay this all out time and time again.
And the last thing that Trump had to run on, which is why he's throwing a shit fit and trying to make sure the country is going to go back by April, is because the last thing, his last leg was his economy. And
two last legs, his economy and unemployment.
Yeah.
And they weren't even his, but you know what? Fine, say that they're yours.
Yeah, say
that's why I told somebody today. I said, well, if he did so great at building it up in the first place in 2009, he should be able to do it again.
Yeah,
and I actually baited the bastard into saying, well, no, Obama was president in 2009. I said, exactly. So we finally gonna acknowledge who got us out of a recession. because I worded it like that purposely, and he bit the bait. So and right now that's his biggest fear is going into November with the unemployment rate being bad and the economy being bad. But you would think common sense to tell him like, look, the virus took over and blah blah blah. But before the virus came, the economy was good. But he can't say that because he's responsible for our response to the virus.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
he wants that shit back going because he already know that the only excuse he has is to blame it on the virus. Well, guess what? Guess whose fault that is?
And it's even worse because I know if you're smart, and I put my money on Simone Sanders at least figuring out how to utilize this, the fact that he called it a hoax and people were dying the first few weeks, they could tear his ass up with that come November.
Have you seen the ads? The ads are bitches.
And it's like 3-4 points. He called it a hoax. He might not be responsible for the virus, but
it's like I haven't seen so many ads where they can actually use the presidential clips. Like their ads, they're using all his clips, his words. So he already know if this economy is not where it's supposed to be, come around September, October, he already know that. But then he's not really thinking this through, because if you rush people back and then that shit spreads even again, we might be in a worse situation now. Than we are now.
He's ready to go. He's ready to go. I think he's like, it's time to go.
Hey, did y'all see him when the lady said I had a little fever? And they said, "Oh no," and ran off the stage. I can't even get mad at the shit no more. It's so laughable, dude.
It's so comical. He goes off on people like, dude, you are off the rails daily.
Oh, Mar said, y'all noticed the unemployment report hasn't come out yet?
Right. Oh, because he had told the White House had told them not to put it out. That came out like last week. Like they wanted to keep that shit on the low for a reason. And it's like, dude, you can't see he's in a situation that he can't control. It's only so much he can control. That's why like when I saw the Gallup poll talking about his approval, the 60% of America is okay with the way he's handling it. I was like, this shit is delusional. Just go look on Twitter and see how people think about him handling it. And like Chandra said, people is like a hashtag President Como. Because we have to look at a New York governor's press conference to actually get information about what's really going on.
Exactly. He talks about everything. And not only that, what he did today, and he's done it before, but he made it very clear. He said, somebody asked him a question about why they thought New York was, why it was so many cases in New York. And he was like, this is my opinion. I like to separate facts from opinions. Like Trump would never do anything like that. And he said how like everybody loves New York. The reason everybody loves New York is why they're going through what they're going through. They're that type of place where people kind of land, gravitate to and all that. But
it's so congested there.
Well, yeah,
they're on top of each other.
Yeah, and just like I was telling Chandra, I was like, so if you've never been on a New York subway, you definitely seen videos. Just
I've been on one.
Think about if one person is in there in one car, how many people that person is affecting, and then they grab the bar to hold on, then they leave, then somebody else come in. And they already said that the shit stays in the air for like 3 hours.
Right.
Yeah. So, but from what they know, they don't know.
Yeah, it stays on metal like 10 hours.
Right.
Yeah.
Plastic even longer. Yeah.
Plastic 72 hours.
So I'm not. That's why I said actually, in California, we actually benefiting off of being spread it out for a change. Right. Like is really helping us that we're not on top of one another. That's another reason why San Francisco was hit a little harder. Because San Francisco they're also on top of one another.
Yeah, and they also use a lot of public transportation as the number one means.
Yeah.
It's a lot of people, like you say, it's on top. It's really congested. So it's one of those places that can become an epicenter pretty easily because so many people are close to each other, on top of each other. Mm-hmm. It's harder to control the outbreak there. And like you said, we spread out. Like we could literally be in the house and you could not see anybody for like a week and not have nobody near you. You know what I mean?
And,
for like
and
a
that's
week.
why I told Chandra. That's why I don't expect numbers to get bad in Texas either, because the next house is like 3 miles away.
Right.
So we got a lot of the places where they're small, like New Jersey and Louisiana, New Orleans. They're all kind of small.
But the places that runs the economy. That's why I told people he can say whatever he wants about Easter. If Governor Cuomo and Newsom they don't have to listen to Trump.
Right.
As far as reopening up the state.
Garcetti already said. Garcetti pretty much said, I don't give a fuck what Trump talking about. We're not going to be open back on April 12th.
Well, if you think about it, they gave the orders to shut down first. Like, it was like, okay,
before he even spoke.
You know what I mean? Before he even spoke, this is what they had to do.
And so Trump can hold a press conference and say, well, we back open. But if California and New York is still shut down, it doesn't matter.
Country shut down, yeah.
The country is still shut down because Cuomo actually has Wall Street. So nobody's going on Wall Street. Period.
Right.
So.
Can we talk about how this lieutenant governor,
he's a sick bastard.
Chris Cuomo
Dan Patrick.
How he said nobody
Lieutenant
knows
Governor
Dan Patrick. He's like, nobody even knows who he is. And he gonna come out and say, let's have the seniors basically sacrifice themselves for the economy, the good of the economy. Like,
but you know what's crazy?
Pro-life.
I'm gonna say, but you know what's crazy? That's how they think they would sacrifice people to save capitalism. Like, and like he's dumb enough to say it out loud. He's dumb enough to say it out. I know, but he's dumb enough to say it out loud. But I think a lot of them have been having that at least having that conversation.
But Trump kind of said, Trump didn't say it that directly, but he's been saying it.
Right.
Yeah. He did. He said, oh, the solution can't be bigger than the problem.
Well, yeah, and he also tried to compare. Well, you know, we don't shut down highways because people have car accidents. Or we have never shut down the country. Like so he's saying it in so many ways. At the same thing as the lieutenant governor. So, but to me, I'm kind of glad because they starting to see who these people really are. Because I saw folks on Twitter. There's like, I live in Texas. I'm proud to be a Texan. But what the hell is this? I love my mom and my grandma.
Right. And you know what? Maybe that might have been the push that we need for the older people who are stuck in this, in the old voting ways. You know what I mean? Like there's groups of people who don't see the newer, for you to basically say
them old Republicans,
you could die. The old Republicans, the old modern, they're trying to kill y'all, like for real. Like
has that mortality set in with you guys? I mean, we're only 20 years away from being 60 something.
Damn.
We're in that next
thanks,
group.
Ron. That's a whole.
Thanks, Ron. God damn you, Ron. Thanks, Ron.
We have enough problems as it is right now. Okay?
No, you know what? It really,
that's what I needed.
But
I'm about to be 60. Okay, basically, I'm gonna be.
I'm just saying. I mean, like we're in that next group of generations getting that.
But it really hit me because like me and my mom were 18 years apart. So I never really thought about my mom being that age. I was like, oh shit, my mom, she turned 60 in 2 weeks.
Right.
Yeah.
I never really saw my mom like as a senior citizen or whatever. But I'm like, damn, she's like right there on the brink. She's a
like that's what they're talking about. Yeah.
She's a breast cancer survivor. All this, I'm like, this nigga really just talking about the sacrifice. No. Sacrifice.
As long as he's the first in line. I want him to be first in line.
Yeah. He's not going to be, because they never die. We talked about that. I think we had a whole show about that.
And then I feel bad because somebody made a good point because people were like pissed off of all parties. That's how you know he struck a nerve. Because he was getting it from each direction. And this guy was like, my grandpa fought in World War II. He sacrificed. He sacrificed in the Korean War. He sacrificed in Vietnam. And here you are. He already made his sacrifices. Here you are trying to kill him off.
Right.
Where
for this country.
He gave his country everything. And here you are trying to kill him off. Yeah.
But that's because those are the least protected, babies and seniors are really the least protected in the society. And so they go after that.
And now that we have to really look after them, protect, like, okay, my parents are 66. We're all very concerned about my parents. I think I've seen my parents one time physically and within the past couple weeks or so, and like, well, I'm 26 years apart from my mom, so, or 26, must be 26. Yeah, but I know she's older than me, but I don't see her as like, that old. So when this first came, they're like, okay, we gotta put, if you're 60, 65 and older, like you're really and they're very healthy, like that, but you just never know, and they are at that point, like you said, Ron, that we don't protect these older people. We can't let them go by the wayside. We can't feel like, like nobody, as much as we miss our parents, like we all have not gone over there.
Especially us, because that generation is already getting old on us. And that generation means so much to who we are today as Black folks, of what that generation of Black folks went through, so we could be at this point. And so for us, I just know, like, that's just really a touchy subject, because that's so much wisdom, because they don't make them like that no more, like our grandparents. So once they're gone, that's it. Because my mom, because my mom generation, their generation didn't go through what our grandparents went through, because they were still kids.
Yeah.
Right.
But our grandparents were adults in the 60s. So for someone to to me, they already done paid a price. So for someone to just so casually say they should just sacrifice, where we only 13% of the population, and no telling what percentage of the population is 65 and older. So I'm sure of that 13%, it's probably gonna be like 3%.
Right.
Like so if that, so for someone to just casually just say, oh yeah, they should just sacrifice, and that's why I'm getting concerned about Louisiana, because that's where a lot of our older Black community lives. They live down south. Louisiana, Alabama, Mississippi, those areas. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody give Trump a hug. I'm like Channing said, I was so mad.
It's like, don't you want to go back to New York, and don't you want to go to New York and visit your
his wife? Don't hug him.
I was so mad Rand Paul didn't have dinner with him with some shit.
Right.
And it's funny, the one person who voted against who voted against assisting people with the virus, a couple of weeks ago, ended up getting the shit.
Right. Yeah.
Come up
that come up as came quick. Ron, let me ask you, Ron.
Oh, but you know what? He probably is in that 20% that's not really deadly, which is unfortunate.
Yeah. Ron, let me ask 80%. You from your purview, because I know you're in the tech industry as well. How is this affecting your business, and what do you see will be different after this whole thing is over? What do you see being the aftermath? Because I know you've always been a little bit ahead of the curve, because you do IT and you do tech. And now they have found a way for so many people to work from home.
Right.
I think this,
and have their podcast from home.
And also, and I felt like if you have enough people that can still work from home, be productive, you cut a lot of pollution. You cut a lot of overhead in office space. You actually even cut, because you can do satellite offices at that point, right? Like people just need conference rooms, and then you can cut. There's so many things you can cut. But what do you see, Ron?
I just see companies seeing this as a perfect opportunity to add to their bonuses, add to their pocket. Because it's just the overhead alone when you look at it. I think and then also the workers' comp, people having to come into an office and then having to insure people, them having to insure people at the facility is going to be something that they now look into. So that's going to go into the next quarter or so. You good, Q?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, but I was just saying that's going to go into the next quarter's sort of budget, and I think companies are going to look at this and say, you know what, we don't really need these people to actually be in the office. We can get the same type of production out of them. Our business is still flowing the proper way. So why not invest into different, video conferencing softwares? Why not give them some, because it's cheaper to give a person a laptop than it is to have them come in an office, have to have lights for them, have to have coffee and tea. I mean, just look at all the things they eliminate, and now that's putting the onus back on the actual worker to provide your own internet, to provide your own, you know. So we're footing the bill for that energy that's being used. Now they may give us a little higher pay, but this is a good glimpse into what's about to come. And so I would advise everyone to start to get used to using tools like Zoom or Uber Conference, whatever it is you use, and prepare yourself, you know, for the next wave of employees. Your job is probably not going to be at an actual office. Your job will be at home, but you'll still be accomplishing the same goals. You know, you'll be dealing in customer service, dealing in different types of industry that have that type of technology already set up. My fear, though, is really for the teachers, because I think the school district is going to really look at this and be like, you know what, we can teach 1,000 kids with 5 teachers. You know, we can have them all online, and especially if the children are learning, like if during this period kids are able to maintain their grades or at least stay status quo, question will then come into, well, do we really need these teachers? Like, what are they actually doing when I could just
I think that's where I have like a combo of opinion about that.
Right.
Number one, the reason that they're flipping out so much and they're trying to get the kids back is because they're losing money. Yeah. Like when kids go to school and when they're doing all this, they're getting money. So they want kids to come to school. That's number one. Number two, another way that they get their funding and, you know, different things is by test scores. They have suspended testing federally for this year. So they don't know, they can't quantify what they're teaching through not having tests. So it's very difficult for you to, it depends on the grade, it depends on the age level, all that good stuff. But it's very difficult for you to get some quality education into where I can teach you the test, which is basically what they're doing online.
But also, would you not take into account, Shannon, would you not take into account that they're still paying salaries? So wait till that dip in having to foot teacher salaries come out of it. Because right now, what is the highest expense they probably have? It probably comes into teacher salary.
It is salary,
the benefits and all those
but
things.
It is. But the way that they get a lot of that money is from the kids, the money that they get from the government, from the kids coming to school.
But what if the state say, we'll still give you that money? It's just now you don't have that expense.
But then to me, the testing is what's going to come into play, because that's basically where they get their funds from. Like, okay, this is how much we're getting because these are the tests. And that's why they focus so much on standardized testing, because that's a federal mandate in order to look at where they're allocating certain funds and different things like that. It's like a lot that goes into it. But I do agree that there might be more options. I initially said that because as subbing, I have like no like real straight up like ties. Like, okay, but I see a wave of, you know, older kids especially not wanting to do this, having a hard, you see the fights that they be having with their teachers and all that stuff. I feel like teachers, they're going to have a hard time getting teachers. That more people will be like, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to be a teacher. I'll be something else. Because of the change in the way that the next and the future generations are going. They're like, okay. And then to me, that's what will kind of get more of the virtual learning going. You know, they do have it already. They have it for elementary school, they have it for high school. This was something that was unexpected, so they couldn't plan it. Like I have my sisters are talking about how they could still get the kids, you know, get them tech, like get them Chromebooks and different things like that. And, you know, take their AP classes online, test online at a certain day. So this was something that they didn't plan for. I mean, I guess they could plan for it more, but I think it's more of a risk than a benefit.
And I just have to say, I feel so bad for the class of 2020. I had some high school kids that were graduating. You know, some of my friends' kids were graduating.
Simone is graduating this year.
Simone's graduating this year. They heartbroken. I have some college friends who are graduating who got their graduations canceled. They're heartbroken, man. Like my heart really goes out to them because I can't imagine doing all that work. And even with the kids in high school, they missing prom, they missing all the senior trips, they missing all the senior activities. You pretty much wait 12 years for your senior year in high school, man.
And they can't do it. Aren't these 9/11 kids too?
These are the 9/11 kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They did told Simone and them that they will have a graduation. That's good. They didn't tell them when.
Yeah,
of course. But they did let them know that they will. They are going to let them have their senior activities at some point.
Well, I told my sister, because she was saying that too, and I said, there's no reason why they can't do it later. You can. It's traditional to do it at the end of your year, but they could do activities in the summer, and they can still, if people really cared, they could really make up for it for these kids.
Well, I told Simone regardless, she gonna have a graduation, whether I gotta throw one for her myself. Here, or her school is gonna have one. But she told me when I went out there to visit them this weekend, she told me that her school told that they will have graduation and possibly prom. Prom was a little shaky, but they definitely told her they're gonna have.
They're saying that they're looking at to update. LAUSD is looking to update people on May 1st. They're saying for sure everything is shut down until May 1st. Yeah. Then they plan to update after that. I think if it's safe, and I think they're looking at the trends, cool. If not, it's already ruined, so leave it. I mean, whatever. You know what I mean? But I feel bad for the kids. Like, you guys don't, I mean, you probably realize it. I mean, you guys are all parents. I'm not a parent, but I've seen these kids at school for years, and that's really the only consistency that they have. Like, not like home isn't consistent, but just, your friends, the stability of sitting down and doing homework, of doing classwork, your schedule. Like, the way that schedule goes, that is so important for like the development of, your time management, your willingness to work, your competitive drive. Of course they do all that at home, and of course but just to have that yanked away from them with no mental preparation, it's really sad. It's really sad. Yeah. I just hope that people come out of this.
They definitely gonna have a story to tell.
Yeah, I just really hope that people come out of this just appreciating a whole bunch of, like me for one, I appreciate my nail lady. Right now I'm missing 2 nails, and there's nothing I could do about it. Like, I can't. So,
and ain't it so crazy how all the stuff because it came with no warning. We didn't get a chance to really prep. We didn't get a chance to prep.
No haircut, no nothing.
Yeah, you didn't get a chance to doomsday prep. So it's kind of like
doomsday prep. That's what
it's like we winging it. Like we winging it in doomsday prep. That shit kind of wild when you really think about it.
We can go to the store, like get your food. Okay, I've been like, if I decide I wanted to go grocery shopping, I've been grocery shopping. One really big time once to get a couple things, but it's like I had to go to 3 different stores. And there's certain things you just can't find. Like, I asked for alcohol because I was like, okay, fine, let me just wipe stuff down with alcohol. The guy at Target said we give that out in the morning, like at 6 o'clock in the morning. You give out alcohol, like not give it out, but that's when the line starts.
Yeah,
at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Well, Angela called me. Like, Angela called me excited because she found a grocery store with just fucking produce. You know what I'm saying? Like, she was just like, oh, they have produce here, because everything else.
Trader Joe's and Whole Foods got plenty of that.
Yeah, wasn't nothing left but processed foods and cake. But not for a minute, Trader Joe's and Whole Foods, they was out of everything too.
Everything.
Like, for a minute,
I'm gonna tell y'all offline which ones to go to.
For sure.
Yeah. It's not gonna be online.
Yeah. For sure. You don't blow up the spot.
I think the good thing about it is it does. Somebody, my sister, I think, shared something with me about. I don't remember what country it was, but somebody wrote that they had been through it, and they were like, the good thing is the stores are gonna start filling up back again. They're going to kind of catch up with it, because like you said, doomsday prep, we could have kind of prepped for inventory in the stores, like all kinds of things, back to Trump, his fault, that people could have kind of prepared for. Like, okay, look, y'all, in a month we might have to go on some semi-lockdown, so get what you need, start doing all this stuff, and then the stores would have been more prepared, and we would have all been more, like I said, mental preparation is a huge part of what the problem is. I think now that we're finally been 2 weeks into it, we're kind of, everybody's kind of in another groove.
Yeah, we kind of settle into our new normal a little bit. It's weird, but it's getting a little less daunting. Like when it first happened, it does feel like we don't know what's happening. We don't know how to deal with this. We don't know, the next move. A lot of people ain't even spent this much time with their kids. Like, seeing people online losing their shit because they got to spend this much time with their kids has been hilarious.
That's crazy.
Yeah, because I'm like, that means you really ain't hang out with your kids in 3 days. They got you really going crazy like this.
Going crazy, yeah. And I think that's another good thing I'm grateful for, that I have people around me that I actually wouldn't mind being stuck around. Like, okay, it's all right. Because it could suck a lot, Yeah,
like, and that is like, and now is the time. Look, People are going to evaluate. You're going to see some people come out of this tighter, together, more in love, and you're going to see some people come out of this like, I don't ever see your ass again.
Yeah, so relationship about to end because the only thing that was keeping some people together was the jobs, keeping them apart.
The fact that they could be apart, right?
Yeah,
now they gotta stay home with that motherfucker. So
yeah, yeah. So it's gonna be different. Like I said, so people we kind of get into our groove, into our new normal. I think as the time progresses, it'll get better. And it's funny because now it's like the stuff that you worried about at first that seems so important, like, oh, the NBA is gone, or we don't get to go to live shows, or we can't even perform live shows no more and shit like that. Now that becomes so like immaterial because you like, yo, we need to flatten this curve.
Like we need to stay alive.
We need to stay alive. Like it went from being mad that we can't watch basketball to like, I need to stay alive. You understand what I'm saying? 2 days. Yeah. So it is like I don't think enough of us have spoken to that adjustment, the amount of psychological adjustment that takes to even deal with.
Well, Governor Cuomo has President Cuomo has in his state he has gotten somehow 6,000 mental health professionals that are available for people who need to talk or email or tell whatever about what they're going through. Because I mean, we're pretty strong-minded individuals. Like we're pretty go with the flow. We can kind of adjust and do certain things and get things together. But there are some people who, I mean, there's some days where I was just like, oh God, like I'm not about being outside, just about worrying about getting paid, worrying about like I couldn't find chicken wings. Like, worried, is there ever going to be any more toilet paper? Like,
right.
Just stupid stuff that you would never think you have to worry about. But there are people who are really having some real breakdowns and really having a hard time. And I think that what more states should include or fight for, because they said some of our volunteers, is making sure that there is some type of mental health, line or something for people who are really having a hard time and don't have that family support that we do, where we can kind of talk. And like my family, we FaceTime every day, more than we would have ordinarily.
Yeah.
And we had like a family FaceTime last Thursday, and I guess we're gonna do it again this Thursday. But just getting everybody out of their regular normal, and some people can't deal with that. Some people are, you never you can't take for granted that times you can be like, oh, I just need to go outside. Like I said, I don't think I've been, until I came out here to sit in the car, I don't think I've been outside for 24 hours. Yeah. Or to just get in the car and be like, okay, I'm about to go to Starbucks. I just want to sit in Starbucks and like drink, have.
Well, I definitely learned to sit my ass still. Yeah,
to do what?
Sit my ass still. I said I definitely learned to sit my ass still because I'm not used to sitting still.
You're a go-go person.
Yeah, I'm a go-go person. So having to have this moment to sit down, be still, and it's weird because it also makes you kind of find your own calm, your own peace within yourself as well, because you just like, I have to be still. You have no choice but to be still, right? So, and when being still, you kind of get to sit down, like not to get too deep, but you kind of get to sit down, sit in your thoughts, feel yourself, feel your peace, or lack thereof for some people. You know what I mean?
And figure it out. Yeah.
And figure it out. So, and I think this has been good for, and like, I think this has been good for the planet because I saw some kids outside playing football. I ain't seen that shit in years. Right. I seen a dad and his son just like outside chilling, fucking around on a bike, and and I'm like, yo, it's crazy because it's like social distancing has made us socially closer.
Yeah, they said the air quality is better too now. If
I'm sure. Well, think about it, because if you got less cars on the road, so it's like the earth was like, we gonna make you guys reset yourself.
Like, take a breath, sit down for a second.
Jesus blew in a cartridge.
You guys, I'm tired. Y'all need to be tired. Everybody sit down for 2 months.
Yeah.
And I think if they took that worry away from people, everybody might be okay. You know what I mean? I think if they took that worry, like, hey, nothing is gonna happen to your job, nothing is gonna happen to your pay. You'll be okay. Just everybody stay inside.
We may need to do this a couple weeks out of the year, like every year.
I mean, just make the world vacation.
And T Marie says she can't wait to have this moment. And T, I can't wait for you to have this moment. And I want to give a special shout out to her and all the healthcare workers who have not been able to be, to practice social distancing, to have not been able to work from home, and who have had to be out there on the front lines with this sickness. Like, I really want to give y'all a special shout out, special praise, like no jokes. I know a bunch of people who are healthcare professionals, and y'all deserve all the kudos. Not just the healthcare professionals, the people who work in fucking grocery stores, because they got to be exposed to that shit. The people who are all called essential workers in every other industry. Like, I applaud y'all immensely, man. And, I feel for you guys as well that, you have to, you have to be out there and you don't get a chance. Yeah, you have to be frontlining with this crazy sickness. So I really want to just take this moment to say, I thank you. We thank you. Uncouth Radio thanks you. We appreciate you and we applaud you. Maybe we can, after all this shit is over, we can probably do something nice for those kind of workers, essential workers and healthcare workers that never got a chance to break. Maybe we just find a way to do something nice for them. Like,
I know a nurse that I've been checking up on her like the past couple of days, and she's been working hard. They working hard and long ass hours. So, so if you do know anybody, and I'm gonna tell you this, everyone cracks jokes and we all crack them CNA jokes and things like that. Those are the people that's taking care of those elderly folks right now.
Yep.
And those homes, and they're needed big time. So everybody out there that's in the health field, we really is really showing how appreciated we are to really have them, how blessed we really are to have all those folks out there that's working 14, 20 hours, I heard. So,
and that also means that their immune system going to be compromised because they're working on them crazy ass hours and not getting rest.
Yeah, and on top of that, a lot of them are dealing with patients and don't have a proper protection equipment to protect them. That's how a lot of the nurses in Washington State end up catching the virus. So I've been trying to think of something. I don't know whether send a couple of nurses. Like I said, I know one nurse. I know a couple of nurses, but I know one nurse really well. Who I just been checking up on her, asking her if she need anything, any help. So
So if y'all do got friends and family that's working in the healthcare, please just check up on them, send them shout outs, see if they need anything. I've seen some people send food over to a couple of my homegirl. Shout out to Lawyer Anderson. She had some delicious Dunbar sent some food to her one day, and the next day somebody else sent food to them. So I think stuff like that is really appreciated and really needed. And if y'all can, just keep looking out for them. You know what I'm saying? And now let's get into some fun stuff before we get out of here. You know what I'm saying? What are you doing to stay sane? I know Quincy, you've been getting your NBA Live in, your 2K NBA Live. I showed you last time I played video games.
You old shit.
Right. You've been getting your 2K in, bro.
Which helps me because I think it's like a game. So I'm like cheering for Steph and not Steph for watching Steph and cheering for LeBron. Like, it looks like real people.
Yeah.
LeBron be sweating like it's crazy.
Yeah, so what you been doing, Q?
These games cheap though. I tell you, you have games, they be cheap. Like I said,
Ron is on the beach.
Chilling.
I've been video games, watching movies. I thought we were gonna come over today. I was gonna bring my guitar, my bass guitar, so you could fix the strings out for me.
Yeah, man, you probably bring it by tomorrow.
Yeah. Also, yesterday I ordered a keyboard, so I'm just gonna try to teach myself how to play some instruments, pick up a hobby. And this past weekend, of course, I took my kids stimulus dad package because they was dying of boredom. So I took them I bought them some video games and send them some snacks and things like that. Because they look like they was on dire straight out there. So yeah. But that's about it. I've actually, one of my jobs, I'm still going to work. my graveyard job.
Oh, okay.
So I'm still going. Ain't no one there but me. So, and the cleaning people still show up despite no one being there. So the place got to be pretty clean, quarantined itself by now. So, because no one haven't been there in about a week.
Yeah,
so
what you been doing, Chan?
I've been, like I said, I did some cooking. Clint has been my guinea pig for some of my meals.
How's she doing, Quincy?
Which is risky because I'm the most pickiest eater on earth.
He is the most pickiest eater, but he'll tell me it needs some seasoning or it needs some this or that. Like he's good about that.
That's how you learn, though. Honestly, it takes time.
Of course. I've seen my sisters, and we're quarantined away from my parents, so being with the kids has helped a lot. They're so, little kids, they lift up your spirits so much. I don't know what it is about them, but they're good. That's pretty much it. Really, just following along and seeing what's going on as far as pay. I did decide that, you know what, I probably need to, how you get in that comfort zone. I think I decided I probably need to look for another job. Like, I think I said, hey, you know what, let me do something else, because this worry right here, like it's not. I have a different type. I have enough of a skill set to be able to not be worried.
To diversify. You know what I suggested? Cam, Shannon, that you may be interested.
I can't hear you, Ron. I don't know what's going on.
You're breaking up a little bit, Ron.
Like a tutoring service where you can just advertise to parents who
kind of match to teaching or tutoring children from video conference or something like this. You have like whiteboard. I think you're familiar with Canvas and stuff like that, right?
With what?
You familiar with Canvas?
Canvas?
It's like an app they use for school. I don't know, my wife uses it for college. But
okay, no, I'm like, and actually, I sub, but I haven't been in the classroom for like 4 or 5 years, so that I mean, I can figure stuff out, but I have an ultimate goal, and I think this kind of told me you need to kind of work more towards that. Like you got to do your thing. I think that's what it told me.
Just to heads up to everyone, if you're familiar with the Great Depression, the most millionaires that we've ever had in one.
Hold on, Ron. I don't know what's going on. Something funny is going on with your sound all of a sudden.
All right, give me a second. Let me double check. It could be my headphones. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. I would just say, if you're familiar with like the Think and Grow Rich, they always speak on after every depression or every time like this, that's when it spawns the most millionaires. People are creative during this time. So
you're going out again, Ryan. You're going out again, bro.
All right, you guys go ahead. I'm gonna check myself.
All right.
Okay.
For me, I have been what you call binging a lot of television. I've been in the studio recording a lot of stuff. One of the things for me, luckily, I'm glad I ended up moving my studio to my home, because I used to have a studio in a building that probably would have been shut down. But I moved my studio to my home, so like there's still like film and television projects that I work on that I have to write for, and I put out an album. So if y'all got a chance, go check out the
2080s.
2080s. Go check out the 2080s. Thanks, man.
Hey, Dane. I told Chandler it sounded like I'm watching a bunch of 80s movies.
Yeah.
He did. But that's the first thing he told me before I even listened to it. And then when I listened to it, I was like, this is very
I was like, this. I feel like I'm watching Top Gun and shit.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what I want.
Like 2080s.
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, because I didn't pay attention to the name at first. I just started playing.
Yeah, I didn't either. Even when I commented on the art, I was like,
this sounded like a 80s movie soundtrack. Like
right.
all the action.
He did. That's exactly what he said. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I'm glad y'all like it, man. I've been getting a lot of good feedback. I have fun making that record. I made that record for all the people like me who love 80s music, but some 80s music don't age that well. So I was like, well, let me put some beat, some pump to some of the 80s shit that we used to like. And I said, if people give me good feedback and people like it, I'll probably do a volume 2. I got some other songs in mind to do in case, if people really like it and really fucking with it, I'll do a volume 2. So yeah, that's what I'm doing. So I watched this show. Everybody, if you get a chance, everybody watching, please watch The Tiger King. It is the most insane shit that
Hey, bro.
It's crazy.
See my post.
I finished it too.
Hey, Jay must just see my post.
No, what you say?
No,
I said no sports. I'm watching a gay dude seduce straight man with tigers and meth.
Who really ain't supposed to be
but
gay.
was it in your group or on the?
No,
it was in the sports group.
It's just on my page.
I thought it was in the
Listen,
sports, but yeah.
I didn't know what to. First of all, it was good that I went to it with no expectations. I didn't know what it was. I didn't know what it was about. I didn't know what to expect. But if you want to talk about WTF moments through every single episode, it's not like one episode got one moment. It's like a bunch of moments. You like, how the fuck are any of these people still alive?
I looked up, I was like, what is this? Like, what is this?
And it caught me off guard because I like animals. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be a dude.
It was not about just tigers.
He gonna be teaching you about tigers and shit. I was like,
it ain't about gay tigers.
No, it was not about. It was not. You know how sometimes you're not even paying attention to something.
Hey, look,
I'm like, what is this?
Yeah, I'm thinking like this Steve Irwin on Netflix. Nah, bro.
No,
it ain't none of that.
Right. Nah,
it ain't none of that shit.
It's first.
And I was like,
wrapped up in
how? Yeah, I finished. How did they find this many insane people in the same circle? Because
Florida.
there was nobody. To me, there was not one sane person in this whole documentary. Like, not every time you think somebody was sane, the next episode you be like, oh, they ass crazy too.
You know who was sane? Was his accountant, the dude that went missing. His accountant seemed pretty sane. It was like them off people that seemed fairly sane. That damn that lady, because that lady that
she's insane.
Right.
Carol Baskins,
exactly.
Carol was crazy, man. Like, listen, when I say anybody, if y'all want some shit to watch that's going to take you on a roller coaster ride that you wouldn't believe, because I said if you wrote this as a movie, the movie studio would be like, dude, this shit is too much. You can't, nobody gonna believe this shit. Like, this is too ridiculous to put in the movie.
Real life.
And it was real life. And what was
some wild.
Hey, you know what's cold, Quincy? How Joe Exotic voiced that cold when he sing, but he don't sound like that when he talk at all.
Yeah, like that shit. That shit's all over the place.
And he got 19% of the vote too in that.
That was crazy. He got 90% of the governor. Listen, man, y'all got to go watch Tiger King. And there's another show I watched called Queen Sono. I did a review show, of course, because I'm here. So I did a review show. But I'll give y'all some of the stuff
so
that
you
I've
did
been
about
watching.
4 or 5 shows?
Yeah, I've been just doing shows. I've just been waking up like I'm going to do a show today.
I'm going to do a show. I'm going to do a show. Okay.
Queen Sono was really dope. And it's about this young lady who her mom was like a revolutionary, and then her mom got killed, and she ended up becoming like a espionage spy in Africa, all black, African cast, and it's about like the gentrification going on in Africa and the beef between South Africans. Like it's dope. So go check that one out. Yeah, go check that one out. It's deep because it's really about shit that's really going on in Africa too as well, and the shit that was going on, during apartheid. So Queen Sono, The Banker was incredible.
That was dope.
Yeah, The Banker was incredible, and I'm glad that they told that story. And that story was pretty inspiring, especially for people like you said, Cedric. When it comes to like how they flipped the whole, like they damn near own all the downtown at one point. They damn near, and it showed you how racism though, no matter what, racism will come get your ass if they want you.
Money, he told him about going to Texas.
No amount of money can stop racism from coming to get your ass if they want to get you. I think that should be what you walk away with from that story. You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's on Netflix.
Stay out of Texas. That's on Apple TV.
That's on Apple TV. And Fire Stick. Madam C.J. Walker. I saw that. That was a good story. Wasn't my favorite storytelling. It wasn't my favorite film. Yeah, they had me for the first like 2 episodes, and I just finished it because I really wanted to finish it. But there were just some things that threw me off. Some of Tiffany's acting choices was a little weird to me.
Tiffany Haddish in there?
Yeah. Horrible. She played Madam C.J. Walker's daughter. She playing Octavia Spencer's daughter in the film. And even the way they present that, you don't know for like the first episode if that's really her daughter because the way they do it, it almost seems like it's her homegirl. Like it's so weird. But anyway, check it out though. Still check it out because you know you might have a different. Some people really liked it. I finally watched that show. Everybody was talking about You with the dude who's like the stalker Dexter. He's like Dexter the boyfriend. That shit was pretty weird, but it's a good show. It's something good. Like when we in a time like this and you need something to completely just get your mind off of shit and you don't want to think and you just want to watch something good. Like You is that show for me. And you know, so that's what I've been doing. I've been listening to a lot of music. I've been writing a lot of music. I've been just trying to be productive as I can in these days where everything is shut down, man. That's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to watch some shit called Love Is Blind.
Oh, I heard about that. Everybody was talking about that. I started and I don't know. It didn't seem like my
We
kind of
watched
thing.
one episode and after like 2 days, they're crying and
Bro,
telling each other they love them. We were like,
that's the most dramatic shit I've ever watched in my Netflix.
We were cracking up.
Motherfuckers like, I love you.
We were like, wait,
y'all just met yesterday.
Y'all just met yesterday and y'all haven't even seen each other. Like, I'll do anything for you. What?
Mine was getting engaged in 5 days.
I know people like that in real life.
Well, it's like 90 Day Fiance too, man. If y'all ever watch that crap.
I guess it's kind of like that. I don't know. You know, people are suckers for mush. I mean, it's odd. I'm like a hopeless romantic, but / I hate mush. Like, I don't know what that's all about. Like, I think you got to be realistic about the romance, but literally, like we're watching them crying. Like, we all like, what are they crying for? Me and Quincy were dying. That's supposed to be a comedy, but it ended up being a comedy.
Like we just met, and you got me in my emotions 2 days, and then I'm proposing to you on the 3rd day.
Like you getting on your knee, and you behind the glass, and I'm touching the glass like I'm in jail because we can't touch each other. Like it was so.
So this is reality TV then.
Yes, reality TV.
Yeah, but this one dude, he got a little situation.
We got to see what happens to him.
Yeah, he got a little situation.
So y'all got to watch the show. Y'all got to watch that show.
Yeah, because he
it's a black dude.
Yeah, he used to like Digglings.
Yeah, that's what they said. Carlton the bi dude. That's what I've been hearing about.
Yeah.
He's bisexual. He's bisexual, and he proposes to the girl before telling her.
He didn't propose and told his girl, and you already know shit comes like that.
This come sister? Out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
she dances for a basketball team.
Yeah, so he's
she should have knew him.
Yeah, well, he like,
didn't see him.
He's
okay,
like,
okay. You can't
no,
see
I just want her to know that, I really like her. I'm ready to be a husband. But I used to date dudes back in the day. Like, you don't gradually, like, he don't know the rules. You touch a dick one time, you're gay forever.
And if you're gonna go back to the other side, then don't tell anybody. Like, don't do a confessional to national TV and then not tell her.
Like, if you're not planning to do that again, then you might not want to tell. You go to the grave with it. But
end up like Gilliam.
Man,
look,
it hurt every time you say it.
That hurts. He hurts.
Oh, and can I make a public service announcement?
Yeah.
Public service announcement real quick. I don't want to see no more damn text. I don't want to see no more Facebook messages. I don't want to see no more posts on my wall about your cousin that worked for the CIA that just got out of a meeting, or about your uncle who was in the health department who just was finished washing the dishes in the CIA health department. Or I don't listen.
All this classified shit.
All this classified shit that all of y'all got.
Right.
Stop it. Stop
you
passing
got
that
corona.
shit around.
You got corona too. Stop.
Stop passing that around.
Like, just sit down somewhere.
Let me get what I was doing too.
Yeah.
Y'all hear me now?
No, you still.
It's like fuzzy, weird.
Yeah, it got fuzzy.
Anyway,
I don't know what happened.
I'm taking a class. That's all I'm doing, y'all.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just taking
That's right.
class.
That's right, Ron. Better yourself.
Hey, man, it's perfect time.
Yeah, I'm finna watch the Masked. I'm gonna get back into the Masked Singer too, because I haven't been watching that. Like the funny thing is, I have been so busy, I fell off on a lot of my regular TV shows, like This Is Us and all that shit. So now I get to catch up on my shows. And like Chandra said, hey, this is the time to take advantage of being with your family. Quincy was saying too. He was like, "Yo, how many times are you gonna get something that's just gonna make you stop and deal with life and deal with your family?" So we should really take advantage of this. Take advantage of this time. Shout out to my whole family.
And try not to get on each other's nerves, because it's kind of hard when you're stuck with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, but I guess we could try
to be understanding.
Be understanding that everybody's in the same situation.
Yeah, try to have some understanding. And shout out to my family, because they've been very supportive of each other. Like, we have a big family group text with my aunts, my cousins, and everybody.
People who don't normally participate and do that, huh?
Yeah, and we all like been talking every day, checking on each other every day, like, and it does still make you feel close, even
and
though
also
you see
like
each other.
Yeah, because my world stopped for like 5 seconds yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I got. So LAPD calls me, a homicide detective from LAPD, and this is exactly how she says it. She said, "Hello, is this Quincy Miles?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Well, this is, I don't want to give her name, Detective such and such from LAPD homicide. I'm calling regarding a homicide with your family member."
Wow.
So I'm like, who is my family member? Gave me the name. Turned out it was a family friend who passed away, who was murdered in 2008. And when I was working with Long Beach, I was assisting them with the case.
Oh.
But the whole setup.
Yeah. Wow. Oh my God.
That's exactly how she said it, and we were like. And when you can't be around your family
Spit
all the
it
time,
out.
you know, you don't know, you're talking to them as much as possible, but you don't know what's going on.
Hey, I delivered that phone call with some other news before, so I'm already like, I had like a quick like pause, like, okay, who name you about to give me, and how I'm about to take this, and then she goes into, I start to remember the person she was talking about. So, but yeah, like, so just like that split second right there was damn near like, I don't know, it was about a 30-minute second.
Man, I can't even
it was a lot. And he said he was like panicking about it, but like he was very calm. Like he was very calm. Even like how he's telling y'all, even how he's telling, like how you're saying it now, you weren't like you're more like hyped up than how you were when she initially said it. Because I was like the whole time.
Because I was bracing myself for the name she's getting ready to give me.
Yeah.
And so
that was a very bad way to say that.
Like, you're horrible at this.
You should have started with, I'm calling this about something in 2008. That's it.
Yeah. Just such and such, because you already know when you call somebody and you announce police, especially homicide. I never had that title, but I can imagine you call people and you say, "Hey, this is homicide, such and such," that, you know, people lives like flash before their eyes. So,
well, I think like one thing, again, we can agree that comes out of it is, as much as we are, you know, constantly checking on our family and our friends and, you know, our parents, and making sure like that's something that we need to do ongoing. We need to constantly make sure that these people are okay, even when we can't see them. Like, make sure that everybody's okay. Do you guys need anything? Do you know, what can we do to help? Like, because you never know what people are going through. We're all going through it right now together. But people individually, you know, out of this, we're going to get out of this. But people individually are going through stuff separately that you never have any idea about. And it's good to check on each other. And this is showing us that even though we're not physically together, we can always be in some type of communication with each other.
And what it also showed me is that don't nobody really care about you except you and your family. Like, like these bastards are willing to let your mama and whoever die as long as their economy get to running again. Mm-hmm. So in the end, they don't care. So you need to care about your family members, check on your grandmother, the elderly. You know, I was laughing at your neighbors, your older neighbors. I was laughing at this guy was saying how today is his grandmother's birthday and she wants some cake and ice cream. And it was like, okay, we're gonna bring it. She's like, but y'all just leave it on the porch.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm gonna come get it. And I'm gonna take my ice cream and cake. She made them leave her cake and ice cream
on the porch.
Yeah, don't take no chances.
She ain't taking no chances. And it's unfortunately that we have to take care of those people. I know we talked about it earlier, but I just wanted to iterate that because I love Chandler to tell you I can hang around old black people.
He loves older black people. Like that's his jam.
Like
that's his jam.
So
like he'll hang out with your grandmother, like, and never meet her. Like he'll hang out with like everybody. Yeah. So, but we have to really respect them and just check on each other, care about each other. Like now, everybody's going through something that everybody else can relate to. You know what I mean? A lot of times people can't relate to what I can't relate to what you're going through. I might understand it and I might be able to be empathetic, but now I understand it.
But yeah, this is the first time we got a shared struggle. Like we have a shared struggle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we should act accordingly from now going forward. But I'm glad we were able to do the show, guys. I was like, man. I another thing too. Because of this whole heightened situation, you have like a sore throat or a cough or even a regular cold, and you're like, I got corona. Like I don't want to be around anybody. Somebody cough on you, they got corona. You've been exposed. Like so, I've been having a sore throat. It's okay. But my sister also told me, she was like, a lot of us have been having it because we're breathing the same stale air. So get outside, breathe air, drink a lot of water. Have those cough drops and kind of like make sure your throat stays cold because we're either breathing heat or is this recycled air without the humidifier. So if you have a humidifier, it might help. Maybe I need to get one of those. But yeah, I'm glad we were able to do kind of get some info out and talk and fellowship together and be able to make it happen. Good looking dame on getting that together.
Yeah, I'm glad we was able to do it, man. And this works. So even if we can't figure out how to get it to Facebook, I'm glad we can at least get it to YouTube because I like this too. This feels good.
We can post it and people.
Yeah, we can post it exactly.
They're gonna watch or not. Whoever's gonna watch is gonna watch. We're gonna have the same people that watch who normally watches it. Maybe we'll get more people. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Well, I appreciate it, man. Good to see y'all. Y'all stay safe. Y'all be blessed. Everybody watching Uncouth Radio, we thank y'all for joining in and watching us. Until next time, we see y'all. Peace. We out of here.
Peace.
Peace.